Hi YouTube, we are live on Twitch right now. The link is in the description if you guys want to join up sometime. For this video, we're going to be reacting to 10 scariest phobias in the world. I just looked this shit up. It was just an idea. I looked it up. I don't think I got it from anyone unless I saw it from somewhere. But I don't think I have any phobias. So, I mean, is being scared of something a phobia, or is it being like deathly scared of something? I have no freaking clue. So guys, let me know if you actually have one of these phobias. It says top 10, so we're gonna
From fears of natural events to fears that can cripple people's lives and more. Join me as I show you the scariest phobias that people actually have.
Scariest phobias.
Number 10, arachnophobia. Arguably one of the most widespread fears in the world, arachnophobia is the fear of spiders.
This is mine. I fucking hate spiders. And they're all over. I live on a lake and they're all over outside, bro.
One of the reasons that many people have this fear is because they don't like bugs or arachnids, of which spiders are obviously one of them. People with arachnophobia can't even look at pictures of spiders, and they can get
that's
big.
different.
Oftentimes, what trips people out about spiders is that they can come in all shapes, sizes, and colors and appear in your home without warning or even really making a sound. People can even wake up in a perfectly secure home and find a spider on their wall or even on them, which obviously just ratchets up the fear even more. It also doesn't help matters that spiders can at times be very venomous. Bites can even kill people depending on the species.
Yeah, see, I fucking hate spiders. I mean, I can look at pictures though. They said with this phobia, like people won't even look at pictures. I can look at pictures, but the idea of them, bro, like I just can't. Like living in Australia, have y'all seen the spiders in Australia and shit? Hell no, bro.
What kind of freaks people out most if they encounter a spider is that they just start running around like crazy. While it may seem like a low-key fear, it should be noted that if you have this in a country where staying inside most of the day is not an option, it can be a crippling thing. Spiders are often found on the ground, in trees, and they've even been known to rain down from the sky. That's terrifying. There have even been cases of them covering entire fields in spiderwebs, showing that they can truly be anywhere and thus are a fear that's kind of understandable. Fun fact, there's a movie called Arachnophobia and it fully exploits the fear of spiders. So if you have arachnophobia, I do not recommend watching that movie.
I'm not even joking. Like when there's a spider or something on my wall, like I don't get it. I'll be like, yo, girlfriend, get this spider for me. My car is covered in spiders all the time.
Number 9, aerophobia. On the surface, aerophobia might seem like one that is rather easy to combat. It's the fear of flying. But you're thinking about this all wrong, because at times flying is the only way to get somewhere. For example, imagine having aerophobia on a job where you need to travel across the country in quick time, meaning driving or taking a train really wouldn't be an option. Or one where you need to fly all over the world. Having a fear of flying can literally cost you that job. Or what about visiting family members?
Chat, you guys afraid to fly? Are you guys afraid to fly? I hope they don't say some shit that'll make me afraid to fly. Because I'm okay with flying right now. I always think about, oh, this can go wrong. This could go wrong. But I'm okay with it. It's just like, the only way the way I think of it is, bruh, like if my plane goes down or someone hijacks my shit, that's just luck. That's just bad luck, bro. That's just some shitty ass luck. That's fucking bullshit if that happens. If it happens, I'm just gonna be like, oh well, sounds like my life. You know what I mean?
Or just going on a tropical getaway. And if you have never seen a person with aerophobia, the intensity in which they try and not get on the plane or panic once they are in it is no laughing matter. What's more, it even goes beyond just basic fear of flying. Sometimes it's as simple as being afraid of fresh air or drafts of air because you don't know where they come from at times. If that wasn't bad enough, depending on the level of fear within the person, they can even have a panic attack just from mentioning flying or an airplane, which shows that while this may be a basic fear, it's one that can be rather devastating to a person. And now for number 8, but first, do you have one of these phobias? And if so, which one? Number 8, nyctophobia. In the world today, day and night isn't just something we have, it's a vital part of the world itself. Without night and the darkness it brings, the world would suffer, and more than likely overheat because there'd be nothing to cool it down. I mean, we need day and night to survive. Our whole biological rhythm needs it. But for those with nyctophobia, the coming of night brings forth all the fear that could possibly be within oneself, as it's the fear of the dark. On one hand, this is a very common fear among
Bruh, Colin said, scared of night? Like, you guys know how when you turn off the light, you're sprinting up the stairs? And you're like, fuck, there's some monster eating my butt. You know what I mean?
children who see monsters and moving shadows and have to sleep with a nightlight on to get through the night. Were you like this as a kid? I think we've all kind of been there, and it's not a joke.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like when I'm sleeping at night, like I don't know what it is, but if it's pitch black, I just don't feel comfortable. Is that just me? Like, does that mean I have whatever this phobia is? Like, I always have my like TV on because I like watch shit until I get tired and then I just pass out. Like, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but like it gives light and I'm like watching something until I'm ready to pass out.
Of a fear, because as you hopefully know, darkness comes in many forms, and it can happen in places you wouldn't expect. Nyctophobia produces symptoms beyond the normal instinctive parameters, such as breathlessness, excessive sweating, nausea, dry mouth, feeling sick, shaking, heart palpitations, inability to speak or think clearly, or sensations of detachment from reality and death. The fear can play tricks with your mind and make you think you're in danger, which will make you react in various ways that could be detrimental. Plus, if you try and stay awake to fight the darkness, you'll be hurting your body in the long run because it really does need sleep. It also means that going into places like closets, dark tunnels, and other places without natural light will be a no-go because the person just won't risk being in the darkness. Number 7. Glossophobia. If you're unaware of this particular phobia, don't be alarmed. It's simply the fear of public speaking, which may be a phobia that you...
This I can do. This is not a phobia for me. Because like the way it sounds, you shake when you're in the dark. I don't shake when I'm in the dark. Wait, what's that? The fear of speaking in front of a lot of people. They're other humans. Like, unless they're freaking a bunch of celebrities, you're not speaking in front of a bunch of celebrities. Unless you're a fucking celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, I was in like leadership and stuff, so I spoke in front of like hundreds of people, like with a microphone. Like, it's, you just gotta think like, dude, those are human beings as well. What are they gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, no one cares.
Aren't really sure is really worthy of being called scary. And yet for those who have this particular fear, it's crippling in ways that you can't possibly understand. Think of it like this. Imagine you're with a group of friends. What do you do with them? More than likely, you decide to go and talk with them about recent events, what's going on in their lives, etc. But if you had glossophobia, you more than likely wouldn't be able to do that. Because while most people think that fear of public speaking means going up in front of a large...
Oh, okay, so it's even if you're like talking in a group of people. You guys could talk in a group of people.
...crowd to talk, it can be just as simple as talking in front of friends or family. The anxiety that builds up in them makes it hard to talk in small groups, just as much as it is about being in front of large crowds. What's more, the fear and anxiety can be so crippling that they'll literally break down into tears because they just can't do it, and that can be a powerful motivator to not try and do it again. Number 6. Claustrophobia. One of the more classic phobias, if you will, claustrophobia is the fear of enclosed spaces, which in the world we live in is something that can be very hard to avoid. For example, you might think of a closed space like the foundation of a home that people sometimes have to crawl into in order to get a job done, or an alley, or a tunnel in certain cases. But an enclosed space can be something as simple as an elevator, especially if that elevator is crowded and the person feels that they're literally trapped inside. It can get worse though. Being in a car can sometimes trigger an attack, because depending on its size and the person's ability to move or lack thereof, that could be enough to get them scared.
Are any of you guys claustrophobic? Like, claustrophobic, like being in a car, claustrophobic, or like being in a small room. Like, I can't go like crawling under shit and going like in between tight spaces and shit. There's no fucking way, bro. Caves and shit, like that's not that big of a deal. Like, go, like if we were to go on like on a walk and you see the end of the tunnel, like you can see it, and you're just going on a walk through the tunnel, like that's not a big deal, bro.
Even wearing certain tight clothing isn't an option because
tight clothing?
because of how restrictive it can make a person feel. So if you have severe claustrophobia, you're going to be looking for a way to get out of a tight space, even if it's one that's perfectly safe. Number 5, agoraphobia. In many ways, agoraphobia is the opposite of claustrophobia, because while claustrophobia is the fear of enclosed spaces, Number 5, agoraphobia. In many ways, agoraphobia is the opposite of claustrophobia, because while claustrophobia is the fear of enclosed spaces, agoraphobia is the fear of open spaces, which basically means the entire world in a certain sense. To be clear, this goes much deeper than it sounds, because it's
Open spaces? Like open areas? Dude, open areas are the only thing that would make me nervous about open areas is I feel like people can see me better because I'm like out in the open and I want them like just stalking me. But like other than that, open areas are amazing. Like, you know, you see everything, you're not worried about shit, you know what I mean?
It's not that they're afraid of being in an open space per se, but rather they view the area that is very open as a danger. As in, it's something that can't be easily escaped, or a place where danger is all around you and you can't tell where the threat is. So for example, if you were to put a person with agoraphobia in an open field, they would likely constantly be looking around for a way out. And
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't think I have this, but like if I were out in the open, bro, like I think it's because I'm in a military family. I feel like I would be. I already look around all the time. Like everywhere I'm at, like I always like look over my shoulder to make sure no weird shit's happening. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, I was where was I? Or not yesterday. The past few days, I forgot where I was. I was sitting somewhere. And I was just chilling. I don't know where I was. I saw a dude walking like really close behind me. Like he could have walked way wider. It wasn't busy. Dude was walking right behind me, and I'm like watching him like this. Like I thought it was going. Dude looked like he was ready to choke my shit out. I was ready for it though. I was ready. I was just waiting.
And to make sure that something wasn't about to get them. This is arguably one of the most crippling fears in the entire world for a very simple reason. If the anxiety and the fear is enough in the person, they'll never want to leave their house. Picture that for a second. Having such fear of what might be out there that you choose to stay inside and never experience any of what's out there in the world. Could you imagine living that way? Most wouldn't be able to, yet some do because of agoraphobia. Number 4, coulrophobia. The term irrational fear is meant to define fears that honestly shouldn't make people scared, and yet do. And few fears are as justified in that term as coulrophobia, the fear of clowns.
My sister has this. My sister fucking hates clowns. Rescan, what's good, bro? I'm the same way. I'm always looking around for my surroundings. It's just a military thing. It's a good thing. Yeah, my family, I grew up in a military family. I obviously wasn't in the military, or am not in the military, both of them. I am constantly looking around, bro. Like, clowns, a lot of people have this shit. That's why it's number 4, bro. My sister's scared as fuck of clowns, and her room was in my attic. The whole attic was her room, and I lived on like the second floor. So there's like the main floor. Well, there's a basement, main floor, the second floor, and then there's the attic. And I lived on the second floor, where my room was, and she has a rocking chair up there, and I had a clown mask, and I was thinking of like pranking her, just going in a rocking chair in a clown mask and just rocking back and forth, and then waking her up. She'd probably shit her pants. Clowns make me uneasy. Especially, dude, a lot of people are scared of clowns now, especially after that shit that went on, you know, a couple years ago, whenever the fuck that was, when clowns were running around, quote unquote, killing people. You know what I mean?
What's rather curious about this fear is that about 7.8% of Americans alone are afraid of clowns, and the reaction to them can be rather traumatic to the person involved. This, of course, has spawned a series of evil clowns, as they're known, ones that are meant to prey upon the fear of them. Great example.
The thing is, what was I gonna say? The thing is, the weird thing about clowns is like, why the fuck are you dressing up as a clown? You could do all this shit. You don't need to dress up as a fucking clown. You know what I mean? Unless you purposely want to have the high voice and all the tricks and shit. But like, you're practically just like, what does a clown do? like magic and shit and blow up balloons. You know what I mean? What's the point?
Examples of this include Pennywise from Stephen King's It, the Joker from DC Comics, and more. As to what really sets off people about clowns, well, it's rather unknown. It's likely their entire look.
See, aren't you just a fucking magician? Chat, yes or no? Aren't you just a magician if you're a clown? Like, you're just doing magic shit.
With a mix of their clothing, their face paint, and more. Either way, if you have this fear, you will not be clowning around. Number 3. Chronophobia. In many ways, chronophobia is a fear that the majority of people have in a certain context, because chronophobia is the fear of time passing. Now, usually chronophobia is triggered in a person by a certain state of mind. For example, depression, regular anxiety, and the fear that things are just going too fast, and thus you need to do more in order to make up for the time that you've lost. Other versions.
I think I have this. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. I think I have this. When I'm like not working, I stress the fuck out. Because like when I'm making content and shit and streaming and I'm posting on 2 TikToks and this and that, like right now, I haven't done a YouTube video. You guys can tell I would have had another YouTube video out already. It's been like 6 days, 7 days, and it's stressing me out because I have not took the time to edit a YouTube video to put out. Like it's stressing me out because there's time that I could, the time's passing so quick. There's not enough time in a damn day.
Or when you look at your life and you feel that you haven't done anything, and yet time keeps passing on as if you don't matter. And that anxiety and fear mixes together to cause problems for the person. The real problem with this fear is that it's always going to be there in some way because time doesn't stop. The best way to fight it is to accept that time is constantly moving and that you just need to do the best you can with the time you have so you don't have regrets later on. Number 2, anthropophobia. Can you guess what this particular phobia is? We'll give you a hint. If you're with a friend watching this right now, you don't have this phobia. Anthropophobia is a fear of people. To some, this might sound impossible. How can someone be afraid of all people? But it's a phobia that's real, and it can happen in ways that truly ruin lives. It can be a traumatic event that sets it off, or just an innate fear of people in general. And we do mean people in general because people with anthropophobia will rarely, if ever, associate with people face to face, let alone in a crowd. Even being with family, the family who raised you even, can cause you to suffer extreme anxiety. Thus, people with this condition will only communicate verbally through phone chats, written letters, or other mediums where face-to-face contact isn't an option. These people live in isolation so they never have to deal with others. Number 1, heliophobia. If you were to go...
That's fear of people. That's a weird one. Because how many people do you actually know that are afraid to go out and talk to people? Or like just like not shy people. This isn't shy. Like this is people that are like afraid of people. Like that's rare. I thought that's rare.
Go outside right now and look up in the sky, more than likely you would see the sun. And that alone would prove you don't have heliophobia, as it's the fear of the sun. Why would people be afraid of the sun? Well, some people fear the light that it brings, and the fear that they could get cancer from overexposure. Some people think that the sun is constantly cooking them, and thus they try and get out of it as quickly as they can. Then there are those who have a legit fear of the sun via a rare skin disease, xeroderma pigmentosum, which is a condition where your skin is so sensitive to the sun that it'll burn instantly upon exposure.
See, this makes sense though. This makes sense though, because like if my skin is peeling and burning, well, okay, this is different. Obviously there's sunburn, but did you guys just see what the fuck was on there? Let me. I'm not even gonna go back and look. Like, look at this shit. Look at this. That's not just sunburn. You know what I mean? Like, if this is on my skin, yeah, I'm not going out in the sun, brother. What else are you supposed to do?
Your skin is so sensitive to the sun that it'll burn instantly upon exposure. So for these people, being inside all the time is kind of a necessity, and that can be crippling to one wanting to experience the world. Thanks for watching. What did you think of these phobias that are truly terrifying? Which one were you surprised? Were you surprised by some of the ones that made the list here? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to World List, and I'll see you next time on the channel.
Isn't it a fear to be like, I thought being scared of the ocean was going to be on here, or being scared of water. No? But that's gonna be the YouTube video. Hit the link in the description to come to my Twitch. We're live every single day except for Saturdays. Peace.